Hey folks, among Western nations in recent years, it's become a very popular meme to make fun of the UK for its authoritarian laws regarding hate speech and discrimination, and what you can be arrested and put in jail for saying. Now, in the Western context, given the history of the West and its relationship with speech, what has happened to the UK is no doubt shocking. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to look at authoritarian legislation with regard to the regulation of speech and what is or is not legal, then you first have to look at South Africa and the way our constitution is laid out. Because ironically, people all over the world, including the left-leaning side of the Western media, which these days is mostly all of it from a corporate point of view, will regularly cite the South African Constitution as among the most liberal, tolerant, and progressive in the entire world. And yet, in South Africa, there are things, and have been things for decades now, that you will go to jail if you say. Now, to illustrate this, I'm going to give you two examples that have happened over the last 10 years, both of which rose to the level of national scandal, and both of which, surprise, surprise, involved Julius Malema and the economic freedom fighters. If you have somehow clicked on this video about South Africa and you don't know who Julius Malema is, he is the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, a revolutionary party in South Africa that serves currently as the official opposition to the ruling government. And he's particularly well known outside of South Africa for singing a particular song.
You when I'm sit, where were you when I'm dream? So fast kichi, hey boy, so fast kichi, hey daddy, kichi kichi kichima, kichi kichi kichima, Sibram Konto alaye, Sibram Konto alaye. Shoot to kill, Kilawa. Shoot to kill, Namaza. Kiss the poor, the farmer. Kiss the poor, the farmer. Brr, pa, pa. Brr, pa, pa. Attention.
Now, in the wake of that song, I'm going to show you the controversies in which he and his party involved themselves. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the time a European clothing company was attacked by the EFF for advertising a hoodie worn by a black model, a young black boy. And upon the hoodie was embroidered the phrase, "Coolest monkey in the jungle."
EFF members have stormed several H&M stores countrywide in protest against a clothing ad labelled as racist. Some of the stores were trashed with stock scattered across the floor. Now, the offensive ad shows a black boy wearing a t-shirt with the words, "The coolest monkey in the jungle." The EFF taking its disgust with the ad right into the Swedish clothing retailer. Party supporters, as you can be seen trashing stores and kicking clothing rails around. And some of the H&M stores have since been closed, with police keeping a close watch. The ad caused outrage on social media. The store later on removed it and apologized for any offense caused. H&M stores in Pretoria, Menlyn and in Sandton are reported to be the worst affected.
We are here to protest to make sure that this shop, we call the H&M, to close because it's one of the racist shops that we've been experienced. I believe you all see in the medias how this shop is being acting in behalf of our black people. We don't want them to say anything to us. We are telling them to close the shop. And then if they're not going to close the shop, they must just know we're going to be here almost every day, starting from today.
Now, in South Africa, one of the words that you cannot say, particularly to describe someone as, is to call them a monkey. However, this is ironic. And to tell you why it's ironic, I'm going to share some of my own personal background. Now, as you can tell, I'm a white South African. But growing up, my mother would refer to both my older brother and myself as monkeys, as her little monkeys, in fact. Now, you might want to argue, oh, that's fine because your mother's white and you're white. There's no racial connotation there. Well, what about this? When I was in high school, I went to a school that is specifically designed and built to cater for people with disabilities, physical disabilities in particular. Because of this, the school maintains a staff of assistants to help the kids with physical tasks that we can't accomplish alone. Most of these assistants are black men because physical strength is required to move kids around and to get us over obstacles, in and out of vehicles, all sorts of things. When I went to this high school, there was a particular one of these assistants who was a young black man. If I had to guess, I would say he was in his mid to late 20s at the time, in the late 2000s. And he, as a black man, would affectionately refer to both myself, a white kid, and black kids and Indian kids as monkeys. Specifically, as a Zulu man, he would use the Zulu word for monkey, nkau. Now, I'll ask you this. Who is racist in that situation? Is my mother racist for referring to my brother and myself as monkeys? Or was the school assistant who called me a white kid when he himself was a black man? When he called me a monkey, was he being racist? Another controversy, and this is the sillier of the two, I kid you not, involved shampoo and outrage over how hair was classified in an advert.
South Africa's Clicks Group said on Tuesday that it will remove Tresemme hair products from its shelves after an advertisement posted on the drug retailer's website was accused of being racist. The advert showed an image of African black hair, which it described as frizzy and dull, while an example of white hair was referred to as normal. That sparked protests led by hard-left opposition party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, who demanded that stores be shut for at least a week. Some stores across the country were closed on Tuesday after being damaged the previous day. Johannesburg resident Zoleka Ntloko said the advert had an impact on her.
They compared two different things that are not the same. So it clearly means that racism won't end. It won't.
Clicks removed the advert and apologized, as did Tresemme South Africa. Clicks said all employees responsible for publishing the advertisement have been suspended and had accepted the resignation of the senior executive responsible.
Since this controversy broke, professional hairstylists and people within the shampoo and cosmetic industry have come forward to explain that the classification of hair that was used in the advert that caused all the outrage had nothing to do with the quality or the character of the person being described. It had much more to do with the physical characteristics of the hair itself, and that those terms, the terms used in that small advert, are terms that the hair care industry uses worldwide. Nonetheless, I share these examples with you to show you why productive dialogue between the races in South Africa is functionally impossible, because so many people are so easily emotionally manipulated through the use of simple language that we cannot have rational, reasonable, or adult conversations. And that's one of the reasons South Africa continues to decline despite having all the resources and capabilities to prosper as a country if only they were properly administered and managed. I hope that, as always, this video of mine is at least of some use to you. Look after yourselves, take care of each other, and for now, farewell.